windows and then tries to place them halfway in between your two monitors. Like,
it's so annoying, man. And it's exclusive full screen too. Like you can't even change anything. Like it's a horrible thing to stream as well. Like
oh yeah, I've been there.
Kind of funny how you don't change the elevator background, the moon and the text. You still just say until I get ready, like you're alone on here. Oh, I'm just talking about the text, how it just says until I get ready. It's like only one man in here has to get ready. The other guys better be ready, right?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I'm gonna do that anyway, so. Oh man. And your music is like coming through your mic really, really loudly. Yeah, but I don't understand what you're saying. I only understand something like Hawk channel or some shit like that. I don't know what you said. How about we just let the music play for 2 hours and then just go offline again? Well, you tired, I'm tired. Let's just listen to the elevator music and sleep. Oh yeah, right. We're doing the wheel. The music and everything. Aren't we just gonna roll it once? Gotta put on a show, man. We gotta put on a show. Yeah, that's why we got you on here. Oh man.
Oh, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I got the wrong thing up. My bad. I do apologize, but while I get this thing up here, let me just welcome you yet again to another installment in the RTP podcast. And today we are going to be playing a game called Monstronium. Monstronium. Sounds too much like pastrami. That's what's kind of messing me up a little bit. It's by Cappy Tune Games. I myself am here, Al, one man any, but it's not just about me. It's also about these brothers who are here with me today. The creator and the originator of the podcast. We have D7 Dark Man Gaming.
What's up, peoples? How y'all doing today?
We also have Doug, whom I affectionately call the Machine from Cychronic Games.
All systems operating within established parameters.
There we go, baby.
Yeah.
And now we also have the inspiration of RPG Maker game creation for his generation in his nation, SG Harlequin.
Going on, guys?
All righty, folks. Thank you again for another one. This should be pretty good. We also got something special at the end, which is the community pick, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But we'll get to that later. First, we're going to get through our initial impression of the game, our initial impressions, and we shall go with Doug.
Okay, so I had about 2 hours to play this game, so I played for about 2 hours. I have a mixed opinion of the game. There's some things that I really like about it, and then there's some things I really don't, and it's all just kind of mixed together. And so, the combat was okay. It kind of gave me a little bit of Secret of Mana vibes, especially with the way that the like action RPG style, but also the menu itself, the ring system where the menu was like to equip your items or magic. It was a ring that goes around the character, kind of like a Secret of Mana. The one thing that really stood out about this game that I didn't like is that there was a lot of parts of it that had like no music at all, and the game like hits different to me when there's no music. So some of when they did use music, it was appropriate, I felt. But I'd say like 90% of the game, there's like no music as far as I can tell. I liked the mapping. I thought the mapping was good. I thought the story was a little bit. It was a slow burn. I don't know if it gets to be more. If the stakes get raised a little later. I only got to the part with the cave and the because I got lost a lot. There was a lot of like. There was a lot of exploration, but I didn't necessarily know where I was going. But I did eventually walk around and find out where I needed to go, because I think I walked to the right place, but there was a day-night cycle, so it didn't make sense to me like when I should show up to a certain site or whatever. But anyway, I have a mixed opinion of it. I actually think it's like stuff that could get fixed, and it could be a much better game than it is. But I don't think it was bad either. I just think that there's certain things they need to work on. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now I'll ask Harlequin here, then I'll do D7 after that, because he actually got a chance to play, and I actually did watch a good part of it. What you think of it, Harlequin, from what you played? Initially.
I think it's an alright. I believe it's alright for what it is.
Okay.
But I think it could be a much better too.
Okay.
Like as Doug already said, I felt it was like too slow for me. Like the whole intro is very long, but not because it's not long because it's long. It's long because everything is slow. Like even if you have cutscenes, you have like these weird waiting times, like until you can get moving again. And so it's just generally a very slow moving game, I feel. And yeah, what didn't work on my version, I don't know if you guys have tried, but I could not get keyboard to work.
Keyboard works for me. Yeah.
Not at all. I couldn't even like start the game. Like I couldn't move the button or anything. I don't know. Does it have some weird inputs or anything? Because I tried everything.
What's the German
No
word
chance.
What's the German word for jank?
German word for jank.
Just curious. That's all I just want to know. Continue.
I don't think we have a specific word for jank. I believe we just call it shit. Well, I don't know. I don't think we have a specific direct translation of jank. Maybe. I mean, we have a lot of words that could be used, I guess, but no like one specific word that's like 100% just jank.
I put
pleasure in the suffering of others, but you don't have a term for jank.
I put janky into Google Translate, and it came out as janky, so it might be the same word.
There's certainly terms that could be used, but there's no like one word. in Germany that would just be used for that translation.
That's crazy. Okay, D. You played it. You gave it a score. You gave it a cost. What say your initial impression of it?
My initial impressions of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was an alright game. You know, unfortunately, it was made on the older engine where there was a lot of limitations. But I feel like, you know, if this game was made like on MV or MZ, it would have been probably like 100 times better. You know, I'm just being honest, you know, because I grew up playing the Secret of Mana games, and you know, you feel like the game is inspired by that. You know, with the charge attacks with your weapons, even you know the with this game it has upgrades where you find you know different parts and you craft your upgrades to your weapons, and the charge attacks and the menu, which I wasn't a big fan of the menu in this game, because I felt like it took a long time to get to where you want to go.
Okay.
You know, like from items to weapons, it took so like 4 different scenes.
It was like sub menus, like a sub menu inside of a sub menu inside of a sub menu.
Yes.
Yeah, I
That
prefer.
was not great.
I prefer, you know, the standard menu where there's a main menu and different sub menus, and you get to where you're supposed to go. You know what I mean? And the equipment slot, you know, the equipment for this game was kind of jank, like Harlequin used to say. You know, like to say. I mean, the game isn't perfect. I actually did ran into a game breaking bug at the end, which was unfortunate, which forces you to either, if you're unfortunate, you'll have to start all over again, like from the beginning. Yeah, because there's this one character you get, which is a girl.
Wait. Hold that part, because you know I'm gonna come right back to you just for that reason, because you're gonna be the first person I call on, because you play.
Are we going to have video playing?
Yes, we are. And let me just get my initial impression out. Trust me, bro. I got it. Now, my initial impression for this game pretty much mirrors you guys, with the exception of I didn't even see or experience any of the stuff you had on your Let's Play, D7. Not at all. And that's going to be a part of my critique coming up later on. But I went a completely different way, and I got to the boss, and I was completely unprepared for him, because there were certain things that I was missing, and I had to stop my playthrough because of that, because I was hard locked by the boss. So let me just put on the footage right now.
Let me ask real quick. Like, we all played the Steam version, right? Or
the Steam version.
I played the Steam version.
Okay, because I saw a demo on Itch as well, apparently. So that might be outdated. Like, judging from the comments, it seemed outdated, and the title screen was not the same either. So just making sure we all played the same version.
I think they said they prefer you to get the Steam demo.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like on the page. Like the developer made a comment, like pretty much leading to the Steam page instead, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, now D, go on ahead with what you were saying, bro, because your experience with it is completely different from my own, and you had way much more time, at least from what I'm hearing, than anybody else playing the game.
Yeah, I spent 3.5 hours on the game. It is a lot of exploration and side quests that you can do in the demo, which necessarily doesn't give you like the quest log for it. You only get the quest log for the main story.
Okay.
So it is a big world, and you can easily get lost. You can easily get lost and go in circles. But just like the Secret of Mana games, it plays the same. It kind of plays similar. I think Secret of Mana, you get to points where you're like in biomes or different zones. When you get your dragon, you can fly to different areas. But with this game, it's mostly open world per se. But I think that was one of the biggest issues. Trying to knowing where to go and exactly where to go, because you could get easily sidetracked by the different paths in the woods.
That
also,
happened to me.
That happened to me too. But also, one thing that did happen that held me back on the game for a few hours was because speaking of exploration, there was this part where there was like some I think they were prostitutes or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll take your services as the character, and what ends up happening is you get like permanent decreases to your stats, and they were like a lot, like so like I was doing 30 damage to enemies, and then it went down to like 7. But I had saved after that.
You was getting decreases?
Yeah.
I got an increase. I chose the one on the left, which increased my defense and magic and my defense and attack +5.
Okay. Yeah, for me it was minus that amount, and it was also the one on the left that I chose.
Okay, you chose the one on the left? Yeah. That one increased my attack. So maybe it's a random generator, like a random number that you get. But one thing that
so much
it is also
so much I missed. I missed
it is also a bug too, right? Because after you get the services performed on you, you could talk to the girl. You could talk to the girl again, right? Nah, for real. That's what they said. That's that's what they said. You know what I mean? Like, if you got the girl married with you, she be like, I can't believe you're doing this. You know what I mean? And you be like, well, mind your own business. You be like, mind your own business, right? But you still keep paying money, but you can only do the event once. You know what I mean? But you still losing money. Like, you keep paying and paying and paying and paying, but you're not getting any increases or anything after that, because the girl's saying that they're tired or whatnot and they can't do anything now. Yeah, it's a weird game though, but I mean, you could definitely see, the developer try to do create great scenes, which I really think they did a great job on creating scenes for the game. It's like one of the strong points in the game. It's like the scene creation.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. The dialogue and maybe some of the writing leaves something to be desired, but as I saw it, it's okay. English is probably not this person's native tongue, so we got to kind of give it a little bit. But it kind of got in the way of maybe enjoying some of the things that's in it. There's something there. There's definitely. It kind of reminds me of this anime called what is it? Is it Vampire Requiem? Blood Requiem? Blood something? No. What is this? Something Seraph at the end or something like that. When he's talking about his sword. Something like that. I gotta look it up and see if I can find what I did. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. As for I do feel like the dialogue could have been a little better. It seemed like hit or miss. I felt like there was some good stuff because I was able to see some story and I liked some of it, and then some of it I felt hit flat. But it was like it wasn't all bad or all good. It was like hit or miss, and but the thing that really kind of messed it up for me a little bit was the music. There was a lot of stuff where there was just no music, and there should have been for some parts, and so it that also could help, with drawing the player in with emotional attachment to the story or the characters or whatever. But I don't know, maybe it was just meant to be like that.
Okay.
But
here's my thing. My major criticism of the game is that the game allows too much freedom for the player to let them make a mistake. I say this because I was told to go in one particular direction by a Fidus, whatever his name is, the dad.
Biggest.
Okay, yeah. So when I left the house, I went through and I was fighting or something like that, and it seemed like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, somehow I got turned around, twisted around some kind of way, and I ended up going. You'll see through the footage. Sorry, my brain is messed up. Anyway, you'll see through the footage that I get turned around, and I end up going into that whole part where you came to much later, which was the whole arc with the wood mill and everything else. I got to that part much earlier than I was supposed to, because I was
what?
I was way under level.
The lumber mill is like the first place you go. What?
Yeah, it wasn't, but I wasn't supposed to go. I was supposed to go through. So I was supposed to, I guess, go south and then go down through the bridge and then go through all this thing about with the AI companions and the all thing about leveling up. I didn't get any of that. None of that whatsoever.
Supposed to go to the wreckage.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. You go to the wreckage,
but I didn't.
And then,
but that's the thing.
You can. What the fuck? That's so weird.
I didn't do it for some reason. It's not because I thought, okay, the way I was going when I got through fighting. Now the battle system, once you get used to it, it's fine. It's pretty intuitive. It has no problem. But it's a little bit of getting used to. You said the same thing, D. It's a little bit, something you got to get used to. But once you're used to it, you'll be fine with it. So I had no problem with the battle. Actually, I kind of like the battles. In fact, I was chunking through the easy mobs and stuff like that, and I was getting kind of confident. Okay, yeah. And but I wasn't doing the stuff that I saw D7 doing. I'm like, so I thought this was going to be like part of the game, or like maybe after beating the first boss, maybe I would kind of get other stuff. I didn't know. I was just going through the game, and I went through that whole story arc with the whole lumber mill revolution, the union stuff. Guy got killed, the thing with Hank, and then I got to that cave with Hank, and it was just be by myself. I didn't have.
Yeah. There's a dialogue. There's a dialogue before you go to the cave. If you want to go alone or go with Mary. You probably chose to go alone.
No, I didn't,
and not have her go with.
Maybe I did. Maybe I saw that. Maybe I didn't. I thought it said something like, "Do you want to?" No, so wait a minute. Do you want to? I guess continue or something like that. And I said, "Yeah," because I figured. I didn't know. I figured something like that. I don't know if it actually said you want to continue with Mary or not. I guess.
Because it gives you that choice. Do you want to? Because at this point, Mary is. She's a companion. She fights with you.
But I didn't.
You know what I mean?
I didn't have that, so that's the reason why I didn't see that. See,
you ain't have her at the time.
No, I told you that I skipped. I somehow skipped that everything that you did. I had somehow skipped all of that. Completely skipped all of it.
So maybe they had maybe you skipped a scene and you went to another scene. So maybe they didn't have any control switches set up and you just was able to do the event. Without
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's kind of hard to test that unless you replicate it.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
You know exactly what it is. I know exactly how to do it. If what you can do then, you can have a switch. It tells you to go X, Y, Z. You have the switch. If you go to any other part that doesn't have the other switch activated. If one switch is already on, see if another one is activated. If it's not, then you had to put up a message say, I'm not ready to go here yet, or you can put up some kind of an event that blocks the path or something like that. I've done that before. So it guides the player back on the way you're supposed to go. Because without that, I bumbled into a whole lot of problems.
Yeah. So maybe they didn't have nothing like that set up.
Yeah.
They some players assume. I mean, some developers assume their players to like follow their direction, but sometimes you got some players
Never
that
happens.
just go off and do what they want to do. You know what I mean?
I didn't do what I want. I'm just playing. And somehow got turned around.
Yeah, the game was weird for me too, though. Like that, I did like. So did you skip the car crash scene or what?
I skipped. I by the time I got around to it, I figured out I'm fighting the first boss. I thought I was doing good, and I didn't. Then
I didn't fight a boss.
What about?
I fought that boss, and I got my glutes tested. And I
What about the fairy?
No,
yeah, I did the fairy.
I skipped, dude. When I say I skipped all of that, I literally skipped all of that. I saw none of that. I didn't see nothing about no skills. I saw nothing.
That is weird.
I saw nothing about no party members. I saw nothing. I just saw straight.
Well, that's just a straight up bug then. If you can't skip everything, that's a bug. That's just not designed right then.
Yeah.
I did the fairy, right? So, and after that, they tell you to go to that windmill thing and get that bridge fixed. So I went into the forest the first time with Mary, and then the tutorial pops up and asks you if you want to see it in action or if you just want to text. So I went with the in action. So you do a little puzzle where you have to control each different character and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then it teleports you right in front of the bridge. So at that point, I have no idea where I'm even at because the tutorial doesn't start when you reach the bridge. It starts right at the start of the forest. I have no idea where I am. So I was looking for that windmill and I ended up in some town, I think, which I also don't know where that was because I'm in the middle of nowhere. I got teleported to a broken bridge. I don't know where I am. So I was looking for a windmill-looking thing or a lumber-mill-looking thing, and I ended up on a map where there was a little hill thing with some kind of coin on top of it, and there was a hole next to it.
Right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And I went into that hole in a cave, and there was like a skeleton, and if you talk to it, you get like $100 or some shit like that, and then the boss triggers, and that just fucking annihilated me. And that's where time was up because the podcast started. But yeah, that was weird. Like it just teleports you in front of the bridge, and you have no sense of direction anymore because it just skipped the entire forest.
And I must have spent like an hour or an hour and 10 minutes like getting like turned around in circles a lot, like in the right at that part actually. Because I didn't know where I was. Like, I came from that house where you started out with. Okay, that's cool. And later you can even find that house, but nobody's in it. It's empty. But not even knowing where you started from or where you ended up, how you ended up in front of that bridge. It was kind of awkward. Yeah.
Oh, did you guys check out the well at the house where you started?
Yeah. In the beginning.
Yeah, that was weird too.
You go to a new area.
Yeah, you go to like a mansion area. Like what the fuck was that about? Like you can't go in there or anything. But what
area? Of what?
That was weird too. Like what? Where am I? How is that a well?
Yeah, because that's the only well that you could go down. I tried to go down other wells, but you can't. So I'm thinking, they messed up
a bit
there.
Janky. Yeah, I don't know, man. The game itself seems alright, I guess, but the combat, I don't know. It's a bit. I mean, it's RPG Maker trying to be an action game, right? It's always gonna be a little bit of jank, but it is pretty alright for what it is. But it wasn't particularly challenging. Like I didn't even try to like dodge or anything. You just hit the swing button and swing at them. That's good enough. Like And when I got my second character, I didn't do anything anymore. I just let them kill everything. Fuck that.
Man.
Because you can set to search and destroy, right?
Yeah.
So anything that comes close to you, Mary is just gonna attack, and you just walk left, right. Because if you stop moving, she stops moving too. For some reason.
And I had to do that too. I actually had to do that because of the after the prostitute thing. I was doing 1 damage to every one damage to every enemy, and so
what a weird game.
And so I had to just get Mary close to whatever I was trying to get attacked, and then she would attack. You can actually switch. I didn't figure this out till later, but you can actually switch to Mary if you hit F.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I didn't figure that out till I was almost.
Yeah, and that and the menu shit, like the menus. Oh my god, no. That's not how you do menus, not at all. Like the amount of time it takes for you to get anywhere in those menus is, oh my goodness, no. Please don't do that.
Right, they would have been probably better, even if they wanted to keep their little ring system. It probably would have been better to like have the ring just have more things on it, but you only have to click once or hit once, and then you're right there in the menu you need to be in, like the equip menu or something.
I don't know, and the ring menus, I never liked them in any game because the icons, they don't in most games they don't really tell you much, and this window is tiny, right? So the icons are even tinier too. So I don't know. Just by looking at the icons, what menu is what. I can maybe tell the save menu, and maybe, I don't know, the backpack might be the inventory, but you have like 4 different inventories as well. So,
I was like,
menus just not a good choice here. If you got that many sub menus, probably just use a regular fucking menu screen and not a ring menu. You can do a ring menu if you have like 5 options. That's okay, but not so many. Like I'm spinning more rings than I'm doing anything playing this game.
I actually found an error with it where the ring menu always focuses around the player. But if you're going to the edge of the map and you hit that button, you're gonna still get that ring menu, but it's going to be, you only get like maybe, like say if you're going to the top of the map, you're only going to get the bottom half of the ring. And
because the camera can't focus on the player anymore.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird. I mean, I don't know if there's a way you can actually get around that, especially with VX. I mean, it's in Ruby, so there's probably a way you can do it.
The way you can do it is if you make the map bigger on the sides and the edge, you'll still be centered when you're at the edge of the map. That's how you do it. That's how you pull it off.
Okay. All right. Oh, there you go. All right.
But no, I run into the same thing with my game with the tactical battle system. So what I do is I create obstacles around the outside of the map so that it's like a cliff that's a certain number of tiles thick, and so even if you go right next to the cliff, there's still a gap on the edge of the screen that any menu you'll still be able to see the menu and it won't go off the screen.
You just gotta make sure that the character never hits the actual edge of the map.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, who says the RTP isn't doggone educational? Y'all just learned something. Y'all got some free game today. So if you're gonna do a ring menu, make sure you got enough gap between you and your map. So make sure that when your ring menu comes up, it still comes up. You're welcome. And that's for free, baby, from the RTP. Anyway, go ahead, guys. Sorry. But I mean, I was watching D7's game, man, and I was like, D7 play, I'm like, doggone, I missed so much. That was the reason why, because when I got to the balls, and you'll see later on in the footage, I didn't get my whole entire butt kicked. I got it whooped.
I mean, the game itself, like the battles, I mean, if you're not watching your health, then yeah, you're gonna die. But other than that, like once you get married,
bruh, I didn't have none of that. I fought that guy and I was doing just 1 to 2 damage. The only time when I did any kind of significant damage when I took that meal that Mary gave me the first time, and I was hitting for like maybe about 12, and he still wasn't dying because it only lasted for like 30 seconds or something. I'm like, daggone, this doggone boss got way too. That boss got way too much health. There's no way I'm gonna be able to beat him. I didn't even know that I just missed an entire 2 or 3 different tutorials. A doggone
dude missed like the entire demo. He just went straight to the boss.
I didn't even realize it. So I'm over here going back to fight this guy 1, 2, 3 times. I'm over here dipping, ducking, dodging the rocks that he's throwing. I'm rolling all over the place. I'm doing all some old crazy Assassin's Creed side spins through the air and stuff like that, trying to not to get hit. And I'm still only doing 1 damage.
I don't know. It's a bit of a weird game. Like even the story, like the game didn't quite like hook me with anything. Like I like the fairy encounter. That was cool. But it also didn't conclude to anything, right? It's just kind of mysterious fairy creature. I don't know what that was about, but that was cool. But that's it, kind of. I don't know. Then they just teleported you to that broken bridge and go find a lumber mill, which pretty much is just a fetch quest, I feel. I mean, I never found it. I ended up in that cave dying to that weird boss that made like baby crying noises and whatnot.
No, I did find the lumber mill. It just kind of creates an event where the Austrian army comes in and tries to get the Union people to stop their organizing, and then the main organizer Hank or whatever, he turns into some kind of monster. And then goes into the cave, and then that's when I went into the cave, and I was. It was also that's where I was stuck. I actually couldn't beat him. I was trying.
Yeah, you failed the video viscosity test too. I know.
Did you have Mary with you?
I did have Mary with me. Yeah.
I got 4 different plays, and everybody had a completely different experience. How is that even possible?
The spin attack in this game is so broken.
It is. I'll admit. But even when I did the spinning attack on the dude, I still wasn't one tapping him.
Is it broken though? That takes forever to charge.
Yeah, it takes forever to charge, but once you unleash it, it does crazy damage.
It is.
I mean, like. I didn't fight any bosses except for that skeleton thing that just obliterated me. And
you fight different bosses and enemies, but
I have no idea what that even was like.
Spin attack. That's all you need to do throughout the whole game.
I mean, I couldn't even charge it because that thing was flinging shit at me. I couldn't even charge it because it hit me so much.
Yeah,
because you get stunned if you get hit if you don't have time to charge that thing.
Yeah,
and regular enemies, like in the time I charged the spinning attack, I can hit like 10 times. Why would I charge it?
It does.
Just walk up to the enemies and just spam your attack button. They're never gonna hit you anyway. Like that was my experience with the combat system. Like you have like around, I don't know, I would guess it's like 2 tiles from your character. That's your hitbox, and that's far away enough for them to not even hit you once. So I don't know, that was my experience with the battle system. It's just like just walk to them and hit the attack button, and that's it.
Wow. See, yeah,
was a little lame.
I would definitely say that a little bit. I would say if you want to make it, I don't think for this, making an open world like that may not be a good thing, because I didn't have a whole lot of time to go back. Okay, maybe there's something I missed. Maybe I should go back. Now, maybe if I had more time to play, I gave it about a good hour and 25 minutes, almost an hour 30. And I had
the way you explain it, it sounds to me like they just forgot to put like some kind of blockage there or anything. Like it sounds like a bug and not like a feature.
Yeah, there was a lack of guidance in terms of having the player go a certain kind of way so they can experience everything else. Because I didn't, like I said before, I didn't see nothing about no fairy. I didn't see nothing about no fairy joining us. I didn't see nothing about no doggone leveling. I didn't see nothing about no.
I mean, fairy happens straight after the intro. Like you get the meal,
And then
then you're supposed to go sleep.
No,
right?
I left. I got the meal and I left. That's what he said.
You just went out there.
I just
Fuck
left.
sleep.
I got the food and got the,
Yeah,
the same amount.
but that's definitely not a feature. That's not something they intended to have. Like that's not possible. You skipping all the tutorial, that's just a bug. That's just an oversight on their part.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with like open world. They just invented it, shoddy.
Yeah, they did. They did. And I'm hoping that when the dev will hear this. I mean, I put there.
Yeah, they gotta fix that.
Yeah, that's something that definitely needs to be fixed.
He just took the food and ran.
I took the food and I was like, thanks. And I went out on an adventure. And I failed that gluteal viscosity test like a champ.
Yeah, you're kind of supposed to sleep. I mean, I think that was automatic even. Like you took the food and then you just went to bed.
No.
And she's meeting you in your room and asking you to join her on this nightly trip. That's what happened with me at least.
Nope. I ain't got nothing like that. I got the food and I was just rolling. I'm just be rolling. And I walked around that day with the stroll, Jack. I knew I had it, so I was out.
Oh man. That's an oversight.
Because I didn't know there was anything else to do. He told me to go in one direction, and I was going to the direction. I went south. Or, no, first I went where D was talking about. I went to that well that went to, I don't know where the hell it went. I have no idea where it went, but it went somewhere.
Yeah,
so I was like,
that was weird.
Am I supposed to go here? So then I went down. I think I went down from that, and I found that thing with the coin with the two buttons that need to be on. I was like, that's interesting. So it seems like somebody else needs to be on that thing for that to activate. I was like, okay, well maybe I'll come across that as I play, and I just paid it no mind because I mean there was nothing there.
Yeah, backtracking is a thing in RPGs.
Yeah.
All I had to do is literally just stop you from leaving the house area essentially after the meal, but they didn't.
I wonder what I'm wondering.
They literally had just to stop you from leaving the house. Essentially, that's all they had to do. So you have to go sleep, but they didn't. Oh, good.
Yeah,
that's such a beginner mistake.
I don't remember at all having to go through that because I went there. I talked with him, and you're looking right where I'm at right now, and same thing. I'm trying to figure out. Wait a minute, what the hell is going on with this well? Why? Where am I?
Yeah, me too. Like, what the heck is that, man?
What's happening here? So I'm trying to figure like, hold on, wait, I gotta be tripping. So I go around the back of the house and I talk to the dude, and he was like, yeah, yada yada. And he told me a little bit this, that, and the other. And I was asking about my friend. Maybe I don't know. Maybe when there's an option here where you have to choose what kind of an answer you want, or what kind of question you want to ask. Maybe when I asked the other question, like where's my friend or whatever, maybe that did something else. I don't know. Maybe
I went with the "Where's my companion" option. It just tells you that he didn't find any bodies, and that's pretty much it.
But I'm thinking like, okay, well, D, I didn't get a chance to see this part. When you got to that part, when he asked you, when you asked him the question, and you had the choice between what kind of question you asked. What kind of question did you ask?
What part?
The part where you're talking to what's this guy's name again? Fearless or whatever. The dad.
Biggest.
Yeah. What question did you ask him? Did you ask him about your companion? Or did you ask him about something? The other question.
I think it don't matter what you ask. I think when he asked you, you worrying about your companion, you're given the option to repeat that answer or that question and choose the other one. One is story driven, the other one is just for lore, which will return you to the main questions where you can ask the same question or just go on. Yeah.
No, the real question is, did you put the egg back in the bird nest or did you keep it?
I put it back in the nest.
I put it back in the nest too.
I kept the egg.
Yeah, that's why you got punished. You're a bad person, and that's why you got what you deserve. That's it.
That's kind of idiotic. How am I supposed to know I'm not supposed to get the egg? Come on now.
I just put it back.
How am
But
I
it's just the karma. It's just karma that you had like skipping the entire tutorials and everything, and that's the reason. That's the karma because you kept the egg.
Yeah, this part in the well is kind of funny. I didn't encounter this part, but I'm guessing this is probably the part they were working on next, and it's like a shortcut or something. I don't know.
Could be. I mean, the map looks cool though.
Yeah.
It does. I'm hoping that's not the case. That me keeping the egg caused something else to go on, and then I completely just skipped.
No. You probably, as I said, after you got the meal, you pretty much supposed to go sleep. I think that's how it went. And if you just left the house after that, that's just a bug. They didn't stop you. They would have to put an event there that says, "Oh, I'm tired."
Yeah. Now, come to think of it, I actually did leave the house, but before going to sleep. But I did not go the same way that One Man Indy went, and I eventually came back and then went to sleep, and then it continued with the ferry thing and the bridge.
And
thing.
he pretty much never came back and just explored the whole game, skipping everything.
We have the developer in
Right
the
here.
chat, y'all.
I see. Here what's going on, Cappy. So, so from what it seems like here, I think
Here's the meal.
Yeah, I wasn't able to. I didn't experience the same thing that D7 did when he was playing. It's an open world feature. Haha, you do what you want. Okay, yeah, and that's I get that. However, when I went. When I went my own way, I guess you can go your own way. Yeah, I failed the skill check of the boss. Literally, I several times because I missed out on all the mechanics that were in your game, everything.
I don't think I would call that a feature, really.
Yeah,
like if you enable the player to walk off the beaten path without even learning how your damn game works, I don't think that's a good idea for a feature, to be honest.
It definitely didn't help because the boss, at least for me, the boss for me was that.
I mean, you didn't even get married, did you?
No, I did. Like I said, I was
Oh no, that's no, don't do that.
I was getting my glutes tested, and I kept failing every time because it was all just me. All eyes on me. I was
I don't know.
I was doing no good with the trash mobs. The trash mobs was nothing. That was just slash.
That's not a challenge. Yeah.
And then I think I get to the boss. All right, so this is gonna be slightly more challenging. I did 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. Like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. Okay, let me.
The thing with open world games is you still have a guidance as to where to go next, appropriate to your level, or something like that. Like every Assassin's Creed makes it pretty fucking clear where you have to go in order to advance the story or not. If you have an open world game that just lets you leave and just do whatever, and then you end up in a cave where there's a boss that you cannot possibly defeat, that's just not good design. I'm sorry, that's not a good design.
I had to stop because I didn't have a lot of time. Now, if I had more time, I would have sat down and thought, okay, maybe there's something I'm missing, and I can just go back to my other save and maybe pick some stuff up.
Yeah, you can do that, of course. No, you can go and backtrack and whatnot, but is that really a fun time?
No, it isn't. And
exploring freely and blindly, and then just every time ending up in an area you're not supposed to be yet, and then going back again. Is that really fun?
Yeah, no, that's because I thought I was doing good. I was like, oh, okay. Well, and I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I guess I just kind of skipped whatever was going on at the bridge because I'm here at the mill. So maybe maybe there's something I missed. So maybe I skipped a whole bunch of useless lore or something like that really didn't matter because I'm already here at the main part anyway. So, and I thought, seeing how this was the first boss, that it would be somewhat challenging, but not a total just random.
I expected that too. I expected that too. Like I was looking for the mill, I never found it. I just ended up in that cave with that hill where that coin was on top of that, and I jumped in there, talked to a skeleton, and suddenly there's like a horror type boss that was like laughing and baby screaming and whatnot. And that just annihilated me. Like there was so many bullets or whatever that shit was it threw at me. I could not do anything.
Sheesh.
That was weird. And then my companion died, and if she dies, the game is over for you as well. So I just stopped there. Then
I was all on my lonely, just all by myself, just trying to me against the world, literally. Me.
I was hoping that if I healed, that she would get healed too, but that's not how it works. So basically, you gotta keep her alive, right? So what you have to do is you have to open the fucking menu and enable the co-op mode and switch the character and heal her, and then switch the character back again. It's just not a good time. I feel like switching characters is a cool mechanic on paper, but if it's involving a lot of clicks and stuff like that, it's not good.
See, I have a party switch in my game, but the only reason why I have the party switch is because different characters have different kind of abilities that work on the map. Everybody can still get healed when they get healed. Everybody can still whatever, you know. I only have that.
You gotta make it quick and intuitive, right? If you have a party switch, it has to be a one button thing.
Correct.
Like just cycle through your characters, bam, 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 and that's it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like this in this game. I believe. Like I think you have to enable the co-op mode first. If it's on search and destroy, I don't think it works.
It's co-op, not co-op.
Co-op. We call it co-op in Germany. Yeah, I call it co-op. Leave me alone. Because it's supposed to be cool operations, you know, it's co-op. I don't know. Maybe you can swap. Like I think you had to. What was the button again? Like pushing a stick or something like that. I don't know. But I think you have to enable the co-op mode first. The co-op mode, you know, co-op. Yeah, if it's on search and destroy, I don't think you can swap characters. So if you want to heal her, you go to the menu, you enable co-op mode. You leave the menu, you swap the character, you pop the heal, then you disable the co-op mode again.
I think you can
check this out.
You can switch the character by just hitting F.
I didn't do any of that.
I wasn't sure about that. The tutorial told me to enable the co-op mode first before, like, in order to control the characters.
Man, I didn't have to do any of that. If I wanted to control the character, I just pressed the bumper.
Yeah, but then the character, the AI would still be on search and destroy, so it would always follow you.
You want the AI on search and destroy.
Yeah, unless you want her to stand on a specific spot, I guess.
Right, and you do want her to stand in a specific spot on that puzzle thing that was just on the screen earlier, where there was two buttons, and you have to have her on one of the buttons, and then you on one of the other buttons, and then it opens up the door.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but the execution is like too cumbersome. I feel like it's not very nice to use. Like, it would be better if you had like one button to swap character and another button to just cycle through the AI settings.
The developer said they want to add
follow only, co-op mode, whatever. Like, just cycle through.
They got something to say for Doug real quick.
Yeah,
okay.
Go I mean, that's what the chat is for.
Yeah, go ahead, Cappy. But there was so much of the game that I missed by not getting Mary, apparently, because we would have steamrolled the ball. I saw D7 with Mary. That girl, she just kept and it was done like in 30 seconds.
That's why I stopped fighting.
I'm like, huh? What?
That's why I could just completely stop fighting. I just let her do it because it goes bam, 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 bam. Fuck that. I'm just gonna walk you through the game.
Oh girl is swinging for the fences, Jack.
The healing AI, I never had a problem with that. I was
You got me on that.
I actually turned on the option in the menu to allow auto healing of allies, auto using healing items.
Yeah, it was me who had a problem with the healing, but I also wasn't aware of any settings. Like, I was hoping, what I said was, I was hoping if I use the first aid kit on my controlled character, it would just heal everybody. Like, heal Mary as well. Like, she would use one, or I don't know, just get healed as well. So I wouldn't have to always do the character swapping thing in order to heal everybody, right? It's cumbersome to use.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it on that one, Cappy. Unfortunately, I never got to that point. But
I had items where it heals the whole party, so that was never really an issue for me.
Yeah,
as I said, the only point in the game where I tried to heal was like that weird horror boss thing, and Mary was dying while I was trying to dodge. So I popped the first aid kit, but I didn't see her health bar going up or anything. So
I saw that. I saw that too. I actually saw both when I for a time when I was using the healing items like the med kit, it would heal both, and then after a while it stopped doing that, and it was only healing the one that I was active as. And I saw both. I didn't know what the trigger was that caused it to do one or the other, but I did see that behavior as well.
Yeah, and I was in the middle of a boss fight, so I didn't really have exactly time to check when it does and when it doesn't. Like, for me, it just looked like it doesn't heal Mary. So I was like, God, I gotta swap characters to heal her. Really, like, nah.
Well, like maybe it could be a bug where like it doesn't heal if she's getting hit at that moment or something like that. I don't know.
We cannot possibly know what it is. We can just assess that it doesn't work.
Or that's what I encountered when I played it, and whether that's a bug or a feature, that's up to the developer. But that's what I encountered.
So Dark seen both. I only noticed that it doesn't heal Mary, and neither of the other guys, like Omi, didn't have Mary. And D7, I don't know. Did you notice anything like that? It doesn't heal everybody, or
certain items don't heal everybody, if I remember. But
I only had the first aid kits they gave you in the beginning, I suppose. So that's what I used.
Yeah, that heals. That should heal everyone.
That's weird. I don't know. And as I said, like, I was in the middle of a boss fight. I used it. Like, I saw me healing, but not her. So I was like,
I think it's certain. I want to say it's certain items.
Well, certain
like the tomatoes, the tomatoes that heal 25% of your health and your magic point. That heals everybody. Yeah, I think it's certain items. You gotta buy those certain items to get those. And I think it tells you too.
Now here I'm fighting the mushroom dudes. I'm over here like doing a fighting them, I'm blocking and stuff like that and everything. And like I'm learning the combat. Look at me, I'm like, pam, 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 pam. Just smacking off all these attacks and everything. I'm thinking, baby, I got this, baby. I'm ready.
Nope. One spin is
little did he know.
All you need, baby boy.
Little did I know.
One spin.
But what I was trying to do, I was trying to familiarize myself with the battle patterns of the enemies, using the block, trying to be strategic with it because that's what it's required in the game and stuff like that. I said, okay, yeah, I got this. Yeah, I can duck, I can back roll, I can jump over him. I even jumped over an enemy attack one time. I was like Zorro, baby, like ha, and then came back behind him and just I thought I was something special, boy. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was doing it. I thought I was.
Man, you thought you had found your game, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, baby. And it's on an older engine too. Yeah, man. It's what I'm talking about. Old RGSS love, baby. That's what we need. We need more RGSS love. And I was like, I was getting into it. I got to the boss and I was like, hey. Yeah, let's do this. This gonna be a problem. I'm expecting a little bit of a challenge. Nope.
I didn't even get to that part with mushrooms. Like I just, as I said, I finished that tutorial thing, and then I was just suddenly in front of a broken bridge.
So wait. You're saying that as soon as you got the meal from Mary, you are supposed to go to sleep, or you directly go to sleep?
I mean, apparently you don't need to, but I went to sleep because that's what the game told me to. And then she's asking you to like join her at midnight to meet that fairy thing. So then you go to bed and wake up at midnight. You do the fairy thing, and then you wake up the next day. And when you leave the house area, then with Mary, then the tutorial triggers, right? So it asks you if you want to just a text box or if you want to experience the whole co-op mechanic in action.
Wow.
And that's what I did. So you get teleported to this special map where there is this puzzle where you have to solve, right?
Yeah.
Put everyone on a button. And then after that, it asks you to either continue or leave the tutorial. And by the way, that's the cave I was talking about. Like on the left side, that's the cave where I died. But yeah, I left there. I didn't choose to continue the tutorial map. I left, and then it just teleported me right in front of the bridge, telling me that they're missing a log or anything.
Wow.
So right now I'm in an area that I have never seen before. I don't know where on the world I am. I don't know my way back. I don't know my way forward. I don't know where that lumber mill is. So I just went in random direction, ended up on this map. So I saw that coin and jumped into that hole on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a skeleton. And if you talk to that skeleton, you get like $100, I think. And then this boss fight triggers, and I don't know, like Mary was dying, I was dying, I popped one heal after another. Mary didn't get healed, so she died. And then the game ended, because if Mary's dead, so are you.
Yeah, I would say this. I want to maybe make a suggestion to you, Cappy, if possible. And this is one man indie talking. This is Al. If you're going to have it in such a way where people can kind of get to these different kind of bosses and stuff like that, and I'm assuming that from what I saw from D7 story, the battle with Hank is a story event. The only thing I can possibly suggest in that regard, because once you get Mary, it's already a steamroll anyway. Either A, set up a kind of way where the character, even if for some reason or another, like I did, I don't know how I was able to not go through all this, but I didn't. Mea culpa. But when I got to the boss, I was in no way, shape, or form able to beat him. Like I don't know how much HP he had, but unfortunately, I was not able to do enough damage to him. The only time I actually did any damage to him when I had to take Mary's stew, which did help, but unfortunately, it didn't last that long. I think it lasted maybe about 30 seconds, and then I'm back to hit him from one again. Now, so either one or two things I can suggest. Either A, excuse me, if for some reason or another you choose not to have Mary on your party or whatever, I'm not sure how, but fine. Either make the effect of the stew last long enough so that the person is able to tank the boss, take him out. Because I was doing good damage to him, and I could have done it. I think maybe if I had maybe 45 seconds, maybe a minute. I don't know. So something kind of like that. So like if for some reason or another you just find yourself soloing it, I'm not sure how, but if you do, at least give the player the ability to still take that boss out, because other than that, the story for the player is not going to move forward unless they have to go back to Mary.
I think what happened here in your playthrough, and I've been watching, I haven't seen you level up.
I leveled up once, like once or twice. At least it said
I haven't. I haven't seen you spend any points.
Yeah, you got to spend the points in the status menu. I only found that by accident too.
No, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
Oh,
get that.
you get points?
You get points that you can spend on your
See,
stats.
I
Yeah.
never,
What?
I didn't learn anything about that. All I saw was this CF1. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
you,
what the hell that
you
is?
go you go to the status menu when you level up. You go to the status menu.
Yeah.
Then you go to skill point. You get 3 skill points each level.
See,
Oh, was
I
there a
didn't know.
So you
tutorial
could,
for
you could
that?
spend
Because
3
I
skill
didn't see any.
points. I spent all my skill points on attack.
Okay,
So my
well,
guy was like a
yeah.
tank. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
didn't get that. See, nothing told me that
What?
there was no tutorial for that. I didn't know anything about that. I had no idea
Yeah,
what that was.
I didn't see anything about that either, to be honest.
so you can definitely solo it. You
Okay.
just gotta allocate those points.
Yeah.
I think there was a
If you
tutorial.
forgot about it.
There was a tutorial in the States, like once you use those points, you cannot like regain those points back. So there was a small tutorial on it.
Where was that though?
Oh,
It wasn't. Was it
Like
Yeah.
towards in the beginning of the game when you're fighting that thing.
the box robots?
Yeah. It's a
What?
tutorial
Was
around there. Yeah, that's when but I think if I can remember, I think it activates when you go to the status. I think you have to go to the menu of the status menu and go under skill point, and you get the tutorial there. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not going to think about that because that's not something that I'm going to. I'll be honest with you. If it was something that easy for me to miss, that might be something else that maybe you might want to work on to make something make it a little bit easier.
You know what?
Find out.
You know what?
I don't even remember it.
I remember, I remember going to the status menu because I always check my stats. I always check the stats menu when I do Let's Plays. You know what I'm saying? See how my character is. And I saw it. So when I saw it, I clicked on it, but I didn't have any skill points. You know what I mean? So I figured, I didn't level up yet. And when I did level up, I went back to that menu because it was already in my mind that it existed. So I think there's no tutorial per se for it unless you explore the stats menu yourself and you'll see it for yourself.
Yeah.
So maybe that should have definitely had a tutorial because that could be easily be missed too.
Yep.
Because a lot of people don't go in their stat menu. Like me.
Yeah, and I'm one of them where I don't really go into the stat menu. Like I kind of just intuitively figure it out when I'm playing the game. But I sometimes go to the stat menu if I'm wondering about something. Like so, I went to after an hour and a half or something when I ran into those prostitutes in the game. Then I went into the stat menu to look at what stats had changed, and then I was like, "Oh, skill points," and then there was like 6 or 9
reason
points.
to go there.
Yo,
I had no reason.
What's going on, yo? Bird Bunch. Thanks for stopping in, bro. Thank you for stopping in.
I was I was expecting. I didn't notice any like level up animation or anything on the screen, so I just expected you don't level. You just get stronger via like equipment or something like that.
It tells you straight up you level up.
Yeah, I saw the level up. It was small though. It shows up. It says like a little damage pop up.
I didn't notice it at any point. Like no, and either I didn't level up or I don't know. I didn't notice any level ups.
I
the update the graphics card.
And the game barely had any music, so I didn't notice any sound effect either. So I don't know what's happening. It wasn't clear to me, and even if I did level up though, that still didn't give me a reason to check the stats menu because I was steamrolling the regular enemies anyway. So why would I go into the stats menu? I had no reason to.
Yeah, because I didn't even notice that I could do that, and I saw D7 doing it. I was like, well, where the hell did he find that? How much of this dog?
When I do my let's plays, I check everything. Everything.
But that's you. You always check your stats. That's the first thing you do is check your skills and your stats.
But I ain't gonna lie, like
you're doing that.
Some people,
not many even.
Some people have the impression like when they play a game, if they're not shown this particular thing, then they don't think it's important to know. And I feel like the stats is, that the stat points are very important to know because that's the core part of the game, like of the character development. And I feel like there should have been a tutorial, like probably around that time when
or when you have your first level up, then you can just pop it up and say, look, here's some skill points. And remember, you cannot refund skin points. That's it. That's all the tutorial you needed.
And check this out. You know what I mean? Because sometimes tutorials could be boring and pain to
yeah, I usually hate tutorials.
Right. So back in the day, and this is what I always used to say, man, back in the day they had in-game manuals. You know what I'm saying? Them games didn't have in-game tutorials. You had to refer to the manual to learn the game. So what some people can do, and some people do for their games, they create in-game manuals where they can have a in-depth tutorial of every mechanic in their game, and their player could refer to the in-game manual to learn certain things. So an in-game manual could be very critical for games that has lots of different mechanics that the average person probably won't be able to remember. So that's just an idea to throw out there, and I feel like this game should have some type of in-game manual, especially when you have like other characters, different mechanics, crafting system, all the whole 9 yards, even the leveling system. You need some type of tutorial.
I don't know about that whole manual thing. Like that used to be a thing like back in the day. But nowadays, I don't feel. I feel that's outdated.
I think
you can do tutorials very well by just popping them in when they're necessary,
like a little tip at the right moment where it fits with what you're trying to do in the story.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh yeah, I get it with like just 1 or 2 lines, and you get it.
Exactly. Like the tutorial in this game is already heavy, right? It's a very long process. It's pretty slow too. And there's relatively much information to pick up on. Right?
Yeah,
there's all these buttons.
I did feel
hogwash. I call hogwash on that because
what do you mean?
People like to read. Like you got some people like to read. You got people want to see these manuals come back. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
this is not me. Oh, let me finish. This is not me. This is a lot of people that is wanted these things. You know what I'm saying? So
and you can still do a manual if you want to, but that doesn't mean you don't need an in-game appropriate tutorial.
Oh yeah. You need that too.
Exclusive to each other, right? They can do a manual if they want to. I mean, barely anyone is going to read them.
Speaking of which, I think that I actually think that the beginning part with the tutorial was a little awkward. I do feel like it was like too many things in a short period of time, and I didn't, and the context wasn't there, so I didn't know why this was important. Like it would have been maybe better, I think, if instead of you having like a pre-game tutorial, if you had those things gradually pop up in the beginning parts of the game, in the parts that relate to the story and stuff like that.
This is another thing why I say in-game manuals are important too, because even during the basic tutorials, you got some players ain't gonna remember it. You feel what I'm saying? Or they may not understand it, even if it's given them in the tutorial as let's say a time tutorial or whatnot, or you're explaining the states at the beginning of the game in the tutorial. You're not gonna. Some people ain't gonna remember all that stuff.
That just means you did a poor tutorial.
No, sir. It's just too much. You give it. All right, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example. Mana Raiders, for example. Aziel's game. I know Aziel be
absolute trash.
I know Aziel be saying about his game and stuff like that, but his game per se it's a lot of information too, and he tried to explain that in the tutorial, which is like 40 minutes. It's a 40-minute tutorial.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you don't do. You don't make a tutorial that just gives the player all the information. That's not necessary. Do a tutorial that gives them enough information for level 1. Like, tutorial 1 is just how to attack. That's good enough. The player doesn't need to know any other things for now. And then you start the game, you fight your first few enemies, and you just need to attack. And then a small enemy comes along, and then you teach them how to block. One information at a time. When it's necessary.
I'm right. I am right on this. Trust me. Trust me when I say this, bro. I am right on this. You know what I mean? It's an extra step for the developer to go. Just like the player, you don't. It's a choice of you to read it or don't read it. If you understand the game by tutorial in game, you know, then hooray. But if you're a person that can't really retain or learn just by being observant and you forget over time, then having an in-game manual could definitely act as a refresher, especially if you've been.
I'm not saying don't have an in-game manual. I'm not saying that. You can keep your manual if you want to have it. I'm just saying don't make a tutorial that's just dumping all information at the player at once. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, because I'm one of those players that actually doesn't like tutorials, and I won't read the manual. But I understand why it's useful to have it, and it's about, it depends on the player. But what I'm saying is that when it's too much all at once and it's a tutorial, it really makes me want to quit the game. And then I'm like, and then once I got and that's when, and then when I get past that part, then I'm like, okay, it's getting better now. That's kind of just me. But you know, everybody.
Then you're gonna go to another part with another tutorial. Then you're gonna learn a form. Then you're gonna have to do another tutorial and tutorial. You're gonna have tutorials to the last boss.
It's not a tutorial, man. It's not a tutorial. Like, look at that. Like, imagine you're making a platformer game, right? You're not gonna go and teach the player how to jump, how to double jump, how to wall jump, how to run backward, how to run a moonwalk, how to fucking float in the air at once. You're gonna teach them.
I played games, bro. I played games where they said, if you want to attack, hit attack.
Yeah, that's what you do, and then they kill an enemy. And later in the game, they see an enemy with, I don't know, a fucking lance or anything, and then you teach them how to block. And a bit later in the game, when it's relevant, they see a flying enemy, so you teach them how to shoot their fucking bow or whatever. But you don't open the game and teach them 50 buttons that do 20 different things with 20 fucking menus. That's not how a tutorial works. Of course I'm gonna forget. And of course you need a manual.
Yeah, for me, I typically will just put in a line of dialogue that's like, shoot them in the ass. That's where they're most vulnerable. And that's
all the tutorial you need.
The developer says they have a PDF on their Steam page for people to download.
All right, hey man, okay. But
that's the thing with the tutorials, man.
Yeah, at the time, had I learned that there was a tutorial or something that let me know about leveling, I definitely would have leveled up, and I probably would have.
It's a tutorial,
and I would have had probably a totally different experience with the game. I, for one, think that the game has a lot of potential, but unfortunately, I guess it's so open-ended, but there's not enough, I guess, guidance on the back end. With that open worldness, like if I had that leveling up tutorial would have definitely came in handy, bruh. I'd have put everything into like attack. I'm telling you what. And then I would have steamed.
But you didn't even need a tutorial for that though. Like all it needed was like one dialogue box with like one sentence.
Let me ask him a question. Let me ask Omi a question.
Go for it.
Do you think this game should be dismissed? Or the developer should still work on it?
Well, I think he still can work. It's a good thing. First off, RGSS is the best. Screw everybody else I got to say about it. I don't care nothing about what y'all say. Okay? I was there for the old school RPG Maker 2K3. When XP came out and it was the new hotness, everybody was trying to learn Ruby. Doggone it. Yeah, I love RGSS. So, yes, I think he should still go with it. I think he still, he definitely should. By all means, he should.
Yeah.
The games has a lot of potential.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, when did we ever say to someone they shouldn't make the game? When did we ever say dismiss the game?
This game should be dismissed.
I just asked the question, sir. That's all I did was say. Come on, I did was ask the question. That was it. That's all I did was ask the question.
Dude, no, wait, dude. Can you imagine if we did that the first episode? And we said,
"What? Quit?
This game should be dismissed." Dude, so much hate.
Dungeon Dreams should be dismissed. What you talking about?
We would have got so much.
That's a scam artist game right there, boy.
It is.
I said it. D7 said it. Dungeon Dreams 2 is a scam artist game until I see otherwise.
Or you just so damn thirsty for the poon that you're willing to pay top dollar $24K to be exact to see it. I love women as much as the next guy, but I ain't paying $24,000 dollars just for a game that's freaking unplayable just so I can see them. That's idiotic. But anyway, that's just me. Sorry. All right. We're now at the part of the show now where we all come together and we give the game a price based on our experience. So, we already saw D7's playthrough. If you have not seen it, his channel is also linked down below. Go ahead and check it out. Brother does a lot of good content, plays a lot of great games, gives a lot of great advice. Do it now. And anyway, so D gave it. You said it was $3.99. I think what you said, right?
It said $3.99. This game has a price tag of $3.99.
All right. So now we're gonna go with Harlequin. Based on your experience, bro, what would you give it?
Probably I would say $5, but I would probably refund it because it's lacking. It's lacking like basic quality of life features for me.
Like what?
And I mean, for me, not even the keyboard worked. Like I could not get the keyboard to work in this game, and that's a straight up refund for me.
My keyboard worked. Psychotic keyboard worked.
Price tag.
You might need to buy a new keyboard, sir.
No. My keyboard's working fine. It's a brand new keyboard.
And I'm using the wireless keyboard as well, so I'm just saying.
I don't know what it was. For me, it didn't work, so that would have been the first refund point already because I'm a PC gamer. I need my keyboard.
God.
Wait, I have a theory. Maybe it's because you have a German keyboard, right? Which is a little bit different than the like it's a little bit different than the US keyboard.
It's a Quartz layout, of course. Yeah, it's a different layout, but
right. So maybe that has to do with it. Maybe the
I don't know. I don't know. That's for the dev to figure out, not for me. I'm just the consumer. I'm just the guy hitting the refund button.
You gotta update his keyboard and his graphics card before playing it.
Graphics card, especially for that VXA's game, man. Gotta have those high-end 1080 graphics and whatnot.
Not a bad game, though.
He got a divorce.
No, it's not a bad game. It's like, I'm gonna say the action combat is probably the smoothest I have seen in an RPG Maker game, because RPG Maker action games are usually pretty shit. And this was pretty okay. I feel like the hitboxes are still kind of I feel like, as I said, your reach is higher than most enemies' reaches, so they didn't really ever hit me. But I don't know. It's smooth for what it is, and it's a pretty decent game, and it looks good. The mapping is good, and I wanted to see the story. Like I said, I liked the ferry encounter. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I would have refunded it anyway because, for one, I couldn't use my keyboard for whatever reason. So yeah, things like that. It's inspired, as I always say, if you inspire your game by old school games, that's fine. But you can still implement like 2023 quality of life into a retro game.
Let me ask you a question, Simple Gaming. Can I ask you a question? So you play all your games with a keyboard, not a controller?
Most of them, yeah. The only games I play with a gamepad is pretty much like Dark Souls, and that's pretty much only because the keyboard controls are fucking ass in Dark Souls. Otherwise,
So
yeah, pretty much everything.
what you say is all fairness. I don't think a refund, is justified, because if you would have said I don't play no games with a keyboard, then you have a point. But you do play games with gamepad, so why couldn't you play this with a gamepad? Even though
because it's not the type of game I would play with a gamepad.
When the splash screen come up, it said that the developer prefers gamepads.
But that doesn't mean anything.
What do you mean? He preferred you to play with a gamepad.
It didn't tell me keyboard doesn't work. It just told me it's probably better with a gamepad, but it didn't say I can play with a keyboard. I'm gonna say, like, I have a wireless controller, right? So my controller is off, but my the sender thing, the USB thing, is plugged in. So maybe that's why. Could be, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me as the player. If it's not working, it's not working.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, sir. I just wanted to know. I thought it was could be an issue with the keyboard or whatnot.
It could be. I'm not denying that. It could be easily fixed probably if I unplug that thing, but that's none of my concerns as the player. If your game doesn't work when I started, it's not gonna work, and I'm just gonna refund it.
Oh my god, this is hard, boy.
What's going on, dude?
Look, you got 2 hours per day to play a video game as a full-time job. Right? If you work full-time, you got like 2-3 hours, maybe in a week. We ain't got no time to play games these days. And there's 20,000 games every day on Steam that's getting released. And 50,000 and 6,000 free games RPG Maker on itch. I don't have time to spend $5 on a game that's not working when I started.
I'm trying to help you, Cappy Toon. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't convince him.
What's going on?
It's just my consumer perspective. From a dev point, I can totally understand that shit because, man, this is an ancient engine. Having to deal with all that fucking keyboard and gamepad nonsense with that old engine must be a horror. But the perspective from a consumer, from a player, I don't give a shit what engine you use, and either your game works or it doesn't. That's how I see it from the player's perspective. I don't give a shit what engine you use or if
Bandito, when you buy your keyboard from Wish.com, it won't work. So I'm just throwing that out there too.
Dude, it's a fucking Logitech keyboard. What are you talking about?
Come on, man.
Chances are, if I unplug my controller, like my USB, I don't fucking know how it's called, Bluetooth sender thing for my controller, then it's probably gonna work. I don't know. But probably, I think that's an issue with most older RPG Maker games. I'm not sure, but yeah, as I said, as a player, I don't give a damn. I don't care what engine you use. I don't care if you are able to fix your bugs or not. That doesn't matter to me. I'm just a guy spending money, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to refund it.
Jeez.
That's how it is.
Hey.
Okay. All right. So, Doug, what based on your experience, what would you?
Yeah,
what price would you?
I'd give it $5. And I also never use gamepads. I always use the keyboard. That's just how I like to game. I guess I've always been on PC primarily. As for refunding things, I actually usually never refund games. I basically, like, if I bought it and I didn't like it, I'm just like, all right. They got me. They got me this time. I couldn't, but I hope that they fix it.
I have enough money to think like that. Like, if a game doesn't impress me within the Steam 2 hours, I'm gonna refund. I want my money back, even if it's just $2. Fuck.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. In any case, I'd say $5, and it's a decent game. I think that there's some things that need to be fixed, and if they are fixed, it could be a great game. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So we got two $5. I mean, I would have refunded, but I would still say it's worth $5.
All right. Doggone, man. Sheesh.
Your turn.
Man, daggone, man. I was gonna say my price, but I think you know what? Based on what I've seen so far, my experience with the game, I would say the same thing, $3.99. So when you add it all together, even Harlequin's $0.
It's not $0. I said $5, man, dude.
No, you said you would refund it.
Yo, I would refund it, but I would still price it at $5.
Okay.
I would refund it because of the quality of life, like the keyboard not working.
But if you refund it,
but
then
I'm still making
he
$5.
still doesn't have the money. He still.
I mean, if he updated the game, he might have the money. I don't know.
Hey, one man indie, your Streamlabs is a little aggressive for the chat.
We say that every stream, but somehow
maybe a little bit aggressive. Maybe sending long. Maybe I try to make the lessons. Try to open it up a little bit for the messages. So okay, so we're gonna put in 5. So and we're just skip past the whole refunding part. But he would pay 5. So now it's $17.98. Divide that by 4. Oh, hold on a second. Wait, messed that up for a second. Hold on. Add it up. Divide it by 4. We get $4.49, about $4.50. I don't see how you can hardly hit the stream. I mean, everybody else that says they can hit. I don't know. Maybe that's something just kind of weird. I'm not that close to the mic, but I'm pretty close to the mic. But yeah, so
definitely fine on the Discord though.
Yeah, so it's $4.49 so far. What we got right here. So a little bit. I think the price that he has. You mean you should be able to hear me? My microphone. I can see my microphone talking like right now.
It sounds totally fine in Discord, and it sounds a little quiet on the YouTube video side.
Huh? That's weird. Okay.
But it's harder to notice when you're actually the one streaming because you can't listen to your video at the same time that you're streaming it. And,
Yeah, I'm seeing that because the Discord chat. Check the streaming output. Should be fine. I don't know why Streamlabs is acting all stupid now all of a sudden, but now at the end. But forget what was the price that you had for. He doesn't have a price for it yet. It's still in. It hasn't been released yet. So keep that in mind. I mean, I'm hoping, Cappy, that when you listen to all the feedback that you're getting from us, that you're able to actually. I updated to the 1.5 yesterday based on feedback. I will keep working on it to meet higher standards. Yes, that's a good attitude to have. Good attitude to have. Good attitude to have. Just to make sure that your game is where it needs to be. Because I think you definitely got something here. You definitely got something here. A few things to kind of help guide the player a little bit more when he's playing it definitely would be a big help. Now, here what we get to do today. I'm going to turn off this music right here. And we're going to turn on, first let me just lower the volume down a little bit. And seeing as how this was D7's game choice that he made, it's now time for the community wheel. I got the game show music in the background and everything. Yes, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking so far with the podcast. We are now going to be getting down to the part of the show where we are going to go through the community picks that we have on the wheel. We're going to spin the wheel and we're going to see what's real. Hopefully you guys should be able to see it. You do. Let me know if you can see it.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming by, bro. We appreciate you for doing that. Yep, seeing it. All right. So now we got all these different games here. So we're going to hit the spin. And if it gets on the reroll, we'll just reroll again. We got 3 different rerolls spaced throughout or whatever. So let's see what it got what we gonna get. And it's Our Dying World by
No,
no. Why you say no, man? Doggone.
no. I'm joking.
All right. So the next game being played is going to be Our Dying World by the Real Tron. I'm looking forward to it. I think I've seen D7 play. I think I've seen a couple of play, but I can't wait to play it myself for the podcast. Give my thoughts on it. Look forward to it, folks. If you want to have your game played as well, feel free to stop by the Discord. I do believe if and you guys got the link to the Discord, drop it in the chat. You got it? So drop it in the chat. We will add it to the wheel, and we will come back to it again after D7's choice again. So this will be I guess we'll play this. What's next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday will be Our Dying World.
No, the date. Next Wednesday is the 29th. So we'll play this Our Dying World on the 29th, and then we'll go back to the regular rotation. Unless other people feel like they don't want to choose other games, then we'll choose other games that were entered. But feel free to stop by the RTP Podcast Discord. You can have your own set up for your games where people can talk about it. We'll also give our critique of it. Everything else, Harlequin suggested that we have a forum because just kind of make things a little bit more organized. Make sure that everybody can know which game is which. I mean, that the whole thing is cluttered, and I kind of agree with it. That's why I set it up like that. So yeah, stop by, hang out, talk with us, give us your thoughts, your feelings, your critiques, everything else. And yeah, so that's about it. So I want to thank you folks for coming out. Yeah, I was a little tired today, but actually going through this conversation with you guys kind of boosted me up. I think I'm still going to take a nap, but I still appreciate you guys coming out for this. Final words, everybody. Don't everybody speak at once.
I would just say everybody keep making games, keep making them better, and we'll keep shredding them up.
Keep shredding them up. What you got to say, Harlequin?
Man, I finally get to hate on Our Dying World now. Look at that. First community pick, and it's already gonna be that.
Hey, we gotta go with the wheel, baby. That's what the wheel said.
Man, Tron said he would he aims to get 100% rating from me. I mean, that's pretty much impossible, but he can try, I guess.
So finally, a real game, and Jill Chan came at the end. I see. Look. All right, D, what you got to say, bro?
Yeah. Once again, I thank you guys for just staying with us. Showing up and showing out. Giving us support, supporting the podcast. But overall, in all, let's play some Herald Game Jam games.
Yes, sir.
Our truly SG Harlequin has entered his submission, Rise of the Allies. So definitely check that out and give him a good rating or a fair rating, and just try it out. If you're a streamer, go ahead and stream it for him, and just let him know, hey, I'm streaming your game, check it out. And not just only his game, just support the human RPG beta tester server out as as a whole, because they definitely support every engine in the RPG Maker community. So yeah, definitely check out Rise of Allies, SG Harlequin. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, then on that note, folks, I thank you for coming out. I thank those who will be playing the replay. And I also thank those who will be listening to the edited version on Spotify, which is where the transmissions of the Omniverse episodes can be found. I'm only 96 away from getting to 100 listeners. Again, stop by. The link will be posted. Feel free to listen. All it does, it lets the algorithm know that people are listening to it. It boosts it up. It also helps get the brother closer to getting a little bit of coinage from Spotify. So, hope you guys have a great night a great day, a great week, and God willing, I will see you again next time. Have a good one.